Ah, all right, folks. Good morning. What a fight. You know, here's the thing, man. I think they should have gave that fight to Nate Diaz. You know, I know he did get knocked down, right? Really, it wasn't even. I wouldn't consider a knockdown. I would consider it more of caught him off balance, right? Caught him in the head, temple, little off balance or whatever. But if you look at the highlights of it, Nate Diaz was scoring big time. Might not have been powerful punches, but he was scoring, right? I would say more than Jake Paul. Now, I like Jake Paul. He is cocky, but right when you got that kind of money and fame, who ain't? But if you look, Jake Paul is a professional boxer, right? Nate Diaz is MMA, martial arts, and all kinds of stuff. His main thing ain't boxing, but I think he did a great job, man. I think he did a great job. He was pushing around Jake Paul. It was a great fight. Uh, I probably would have gave it to Nate Diaz, right? These guys came out of an octagon, which mainly is not boxing. It is a mix of many fighting techniques, right? You're not constantly just boxing in the octagon, right? You're doing all kinds of other martial arts and things. So for him to come into Jake Paul's area, his surroundings, and push him around and he didn't get knocked out. I mean, come on, this is almost like Mike Tyson said with McGregor and that other boxer, Floyd Mayweather. They went the distance and didn't get knocked out. What does that tell you, right? Nate Diaz went into Jake Paul's town and didn't get knocked out. He went the full distance. He went the full distance with Jake Paul, and he did pretty good. And at the end there, he was scoring big time with some of them combinations and hooks and everything. So it was a great fight. Nate Diaz, Jake Paul, great fight. But I'll tell you what, that Nate Diaz, he just don't back down, man. He don't back down. That's why I like him. He goes forward. He's not afraid of too much. And I think he did a great job. My opinion. I think he did a great job. Now, now that Nate Diaz went into Jake Paul's ring, do you think Jake Paul would be able to handle Nate Diaz in the octagon? I don't think so. Right? Like I said, I've been watching Nate Diaz for a long time. You could beat that guy until he's bloody. And somehow Nate Diaz finds a way to come back and win in the octagon. Right? He just don't back up. The dude just keeps going forward. And it was a great fight. Now it'll be different if Jake Paul comes into MMA and goes into the ring with Nate Diaz. That's a totally different game, right? Nate Diaz is jiu-jitsu, all these. He's a he's a he's a great grappler. Uh, the guy's got some submission holds that'll just kill you, right? I don't know if Jake Paul wants to get in the octagon with Nate Diaz. I just don't know about that. But I think Nate Diaz did a great job, right? He went in there. It's the same thing with McGregor. These guys are not professional uh, boxers, right? They train in many different areas. Jake Paul is a boxer. His whole day consists of boxing. He's a professional. His whole day is consistent. No kicks, no submission holds, none of that. Jake Paul is a boxer. That's all he does. See, Nate Diaz and these MMA guys, well, they do other things. They can box, but their main training is in grappling, martial arts, kicks, uh, different things. So I think Nate Diaz did an effing great job, and so did McGregor when he went up against Floyd. So, I thought it was a pretty dang close fight. And I probably would have gave, if I was the judges, I probably would have gave it to Nate Diaz for lasting the 10 rounds, right? He went 10 rounds and didn't get knocked out. Great fight. Jake Paul's a good boxer. He's got power. He's a good boxer. But he should have been, it's like Tyson said. Uh, Mayweather should have knocked out Conor McGregor, but he didn't. What does that tell you? Right? The greatest fighter of all couldn't knock out McGregor. And same thing here with Jake Paul. He should have been able to knock him out. He was in his town, his streets, and he couldn't do it. Right? I'll tell you, these MMA dudes are tough cookies, tough dudes. No, you folks have a great morning. That's my opinion on the fight. It was a great fight. Right? You see there at the end, Diaz was jumping around and bobbing on the tube. It was a great show, great fight. No, you folks have a great Sunday. I want to thank the Lord for another day. God bless everyone, and all glory goes to God. And it was a great fight. Both fighters, Jake Paul and Nate Diaz. Great fight, man. Now, you folks have a great day. God bless.